Hey everyone, welcome back to Staying Salty. Oh, my chair is just gonna continue to rotate around. Welcome back.
I got cystic fibrosis. See, I've got cystic fibrosis.
Alright, now that we are firmly on the ground here, hi, welcome back to Staying Salty. My name is Chelsea, and this is a channel where 6 different people with cystic fibrosis get together and talk about what it's like to live with cystic fibrosis, which is a lung disease and affects a whole bunch of different other things. If you want to check out more about cystic fibrosis in this channel, check out our playlist tab where it has all the different topics we've already done, speaking about what it's like to live with cystic fibrosis, what we do day to day, so many different topics. So go check those out if you're interested. But you're obviously here for today's topic, whether you've been here before or not, which is cystic fibrosis in public, or being in public with cystic fibrosis. Now, if you've never been around somebody with cystic fibrosis, it may seem like a strange topic to you, because cystic fibrosis is an invisible illness, which means you can't see, but I don't use a wheelchair, I don't use a walker, I don't have an amputation, I can communicate with you using my voice. There's no outward signs that say anything is wrong with me, anything that, I might be sick or handicapped, however you want to phrase that. But it is a double-edged sword, because when we do need that extra help because we are sick, whether it be using pills to eat our food, having a coughing fit, using the pre-boarding during an airplane, going somewhere, I've had that. We definitely get some interesting looks and some side comments, asking if we have bubonic plague maybe, which has happened to me. It definitely happens because it's an invisible illness, so people don't know why we're hacking up a lung, or why we're taking all these pills, or why we're doing things that we may need to do even though we look normal. So, with all of that, I am just gonna simply be speaking from my own experience. That doesn't mean anyone else's is wrong, different. Everyone has their own experience with cystic fibrosis. So I am just speaking from my own personal experience. And to start off, I think to really start off, you have to go back to childhood. And one of the main things is, I think my parents really helped teach me, is to be very open about my cystic fibrosis. It's a lot harder to become ashamed and feel isolated about something when everybody knows about it. So for my 8th grade play, my 8th grade speech we did, I did mine on cystic fibrosis. So I presented all this information and everything, so my entire class, my entire high school knew about my cystic fibrosis. So it wasn't something that was strange when I was taking pills. Everybody knew about it. Even growing up, I would go away for sleepaway camp, and I would bring my medications. There was never a time that I really felt ashamed of cystic fibrosis, which made it a lot easier when people ask questions to just say, oh, I have this, instead of feeling like, when people would ask me questions, feeling like I had to retreat inward and become more anxious about it. That really helped me, because then going through high school, when anything ever went wrong, or no, nothing ever went wrong in high school for me. I never had IVs until college, but just going throughout the day-to-day coughing fits, I definitely would still hear the phrases, bubonic plague or black lung, things like that. But I think that also invites in some humor into cystic fibrosis. Like, if you have cystic fibrosis, you cannot deny that coughing up a lung the way we do does sound like we have black lung. It sounds like we genuinely have a plague. Like, there's no way to deny that. So laughing with people and kind of making a joke out of it, it helped me. Why am I gonna feel bad about it when I can just laugh at it? Because it does sound like I have the damn plague. So going through high school, that was really how I dealt with it. I didn't really have much to deal with because, like I said, I didn't have IVs until college. But going to college, I was again very open with my cystic fibrosis. I lived in the dorms, I did everything. You know, I did my medications in my dorm room with people walking by with the door open. Everyone knew when they heard my vest start up that I was just doing my treatments. It wasn't something, I obviously didn't go around pasting a flyer on people's doors. I just talked to people like normal people would. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, these are pills I have to take. I have a lung disease. And if they ask more questions, great. If not, moving on. I never looked at it as something that needed to be hidden or ashamed of or anything like that. So that really helped me go throughout my life not feeling anxious and not feeling isolated when I'm in public. One thing that I have to tell, one of my best friends in college, hi Logan, whenever we would go out, we would go to the bars, we'd be normal 21-year-olds in college, and inevitably, at least once or twice throughout the night, Chelsea would go into a full-blown, like, minute-long coughing fit at the bar. Mostly because college, I was the sickest I've ever been, so these coughing fits came a lot more. I remember specifically one time, I'm sitting there, bent over against the bar, kind of trying to hide so nobody really hears me over the music, and I'm just coughing up a lung, probably into my arm or something, and Logan just has her hand on my back, continues her conversation, and somebody comes over and like, hey, like, why don't you go help your friend? I don't think she's okay. And she whips around in about 3 seconds. She's like, she's fine. You don't even know. Go away. Go away. So having friends around like that is great. To speak on your behalf when you cannot speak and tell people to just shoo because they're good. She'll finish it. She'll finish her coughing fit when she's done. I remember friends over the years, we would meet new people and we'd be at, even my boyfriend and I, we'd be at like a dinner or something and I'd have a coughing fit or just kind of turn away and start coughing a little bit and he would continue on the conversation or my friends would just continue on as if like I sneezed, as if nothing's going on. And these new people we just would meet, they're just staring like, is she okay? Is she okay? And my friends would have done it for so long, so they would forget that normal people react very aggressively to somebody who looks like they're about to die coughing. So they would just continue on the conversation and not even acknowledge it. It just becomes second nature. But it's always funny when you get around new people and they're not attuned to that yet. So their reactions are always a little interesting. Those are some of my favorite stories. Just having friends around that aren't gonna make you feel anything less than supported. Going out with friends and when you have a coughing fit, they know to just sit there and hang out. They're not gonna go rush and grab water. They're not gonna ask you if you're dying. And if anyone does come up, they can say, you know, no, she's good. She's good. Don't call 911, please. We're good. Okay. On that note, I really feel like I do want to mention that when people do come up to us, I know a lot of cystic fibrosis patients hate and they loathe people coming up and asking, are you okay? I don't know. I don't understand why people hate that so much because it obviously could come from a different place, but for most of the time, people are just genuinely coming up as a concerned human, and this is a chance to educate them. You know, if they're saying, oh, are you okay, are you okay? Obviously finish your coughing attack, finish taking your pills or do whatever, but then come and say, oh, like, no, I'm really okay, I have cystic fibrosis, and maybe start a conversation about it instead of just shooing this person away. It just doesn't make sense in my mind to not spread awareness and spread love and think that people are out to just make us feel like crap, because I don't think that's most people's intention whatsoever. I know this was a very humbling story for me, and it will be my last story. Don't worry, I do know the time is getting long on this video. When I was Actually, this just happened in November, so it's April now. I was super sick. I was still living in Atlanta like I am right now, but I go to clinic up in Johns Hopkins. So I have to get on a plane. I was so sick. I was being admitted when I got to Baltimore, kind of sick. So I get on the plane and I just sat in my seat and I'm like, okay, let me grab my headphones. Let me just tune out the next 2 hours, make it through, try not to hack up my lung on whoever's sitting next to me, and move on. So I'm sitting there and this older woman is sitting next to me, and not even before we start taxiing out, she offers me a cough drop. And I think to myself, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a long flight. This woman is already offering me a cough drop. Whew. So I just politely say, no, thank you, I'm good. And I try and tune back into my music, try and find a show on my phone or on the Delta app, whatever it is. And about maybe 5 minutes later, I get another little tap on my shoulder. Are you sure you don't want another cough drop? Like, I have a lot of them, you can have one. No, I'm really fine. Like, I don't need a cough drop, thank you. And notice, like I said, I am so sick right now. All I want to do is curl in a ball and just go back to bed. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I still have 2 hours of this flight left. So I'm sitting there and I'm just trying to zone in, watching, I think I was watching John Oliver, like something to try and take my mind off of it. And I get a third tap on my shoulder. And she goes, oh, like I think I have this, like, do you want any water? And I'm like, I'm fine, thank you. Like, I started getting very abrupt and very aggressive because I'm like, God damn it, I'm fine, just leave me alone, please. I'm not gonna explain why I'm coughing right now. Like, I don't wanna deal with it. So I just turn my head back, put in my headphones, but I can still hear this lady talking next to me. Now I feel like a horrible person telling the story, but I could still hear her talking to me, and I'm like, please just shut up. You don't understand, okay? And then finally, I could still hear her talking. Finally, I rip out my headphones, turn to her, and I'm like, I have a lung disease, okay? I'm fine. And then I go to put my headphone back in, and just in the softest little voice ever, she's like, oh, I thought so. And I was like, what? And I kind of just turned, and she's like, yeah, like, my daughter had a lung transplant. Like, I recognized the cough, and immediately a rock just went into my chest and went into my stomach. And I'm like, oh, I'm an asshole. And so I sit here for the next hour and I speak to this woman about her daughter who had gotten a lung transplant, not from cystic fibrosis as I found, but because I think of lung cancer, I believe. I'm talking to her about that, and she's talking to me about, oh, I recognized your cough. That was really similar to one she had. And I was just trying to be nice. You know, I still carry around albuterol inhalers just in case. She always used to use them, and I started picking up on the fact that she was using past tense, and I asked her, and her daughter had passed away maybe a year or so after she had a lung transplant. So now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I am the worst human on the face of the earth. I had been dismissing this poor woman this whole time who was just trying to make pleasant conversation, that maybe I reminded her of her daughter or something, and she was trying to be nice. And oh, that is the one story I'm going to share to people who think that it's okay to just shoo people away, because you have no idea what somebody else is going through. You have no idea why they want to talk. You have no idea why they're asking questions. I understand that there are those times that you kind of just don't want to talk about it, but there's never a right to make someone else feel bad or just think that they have ill intentions, because that's what I thought. I was so done with this lady next to me, and I was ready to shoo her away and move seats and just ignore this whole situation. But God, talking to her for that hour and a half, it was so humbling, because I just was sitting there. I was so dismissive of her, and I was so standoffish. I will admit that I was so standoffish. I was an asshole. And then this poor woman was just trying to make a connection and trying to do what she thought was best by helping someone that reminded her of her own daughter. So maybe think of this story next time somebody asks you if you're okay. you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know their life. You don't know why they're asking. And sometimes, God, it can make a great conversation and really open your eyes to a lot of things. So that is all I have when it comes to taking cystic fibrosis in public. Besides taking your pills, like, who the heck cares? I don't understand why people hide their pills. At this point, I pop pills everywhere. Doesn't really matter. I've done my treatments on a plane. I have asked the flight attendants if I can just go sit in the back, and I brought all my entire luggage back there and sat on the floor, did my treatments, talked to the flight attendants, moved on. Still had about 11 hours of the flight left, but you do whatever you have to do. Don't feel ashamed. It's your body. Everyone has something, whether it be diabetes, family issues, you know, acid reflux. Like, someone has something that they're dealing with internally that they don't want to show publicly. By you going out there and showing what you have to deal with publicly, it's going to give people a lot more courage, and it's going to make a lot of people in awe of you, and they're not going to be sitting there thinking less of you or thinking that you are contagious. Now, we all still do sound contagious, let's be honest, but let's just open our eyes to spreading a little bit more love in the community and a little bit more love to people who might not know what we're going through, but take that time and share with them what we're going through. Maybe we can affect their life, maybe we can make their life better, or maybe they can help someone else. So, with all of that, keep on kicking some CF butt, and until next time, next week, remember to hashtag stay salty, my friends, and go out there, kick some CF butt, and do your meds in public if you want, because I've done it. So, alright guys, have a good weekend. I will see you all next week. Bye.